Welcome back to the John McKay Show here on RadioOnFire.com. Thank you for joining me. Of course, we are broadcasting from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. And I hope everyone is enjoying their Labor Day weekend. That's what's going on. I had a chance to check out the Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones Netflix comedy special. Very controversial. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, what is offensive? What is a comedian allowed to make jokes about? I think that these things are important in trying to understand what people find funny, trying to understand what moves people. And but as I said, this is a very controversial piece of work. Tremendous discomfort at times, particularly during topics that most people don't joke about. So we're going to talk about that. Also, Kevin Hart in a car crash. We're going to talk about that and a lot of other things. Okay. Of course, RadioFire.com. We have programming and news and information. The voice of urban America, RadioOnFire.com/join is where you go to become a premium subscriber. And we definitely need your support to continue to do what we do here at Radio on Fire. So, as I said, the controversial Dave Chappelle. And Dave Chappelle is no stranger to controversy. He hosted the successful Comedy Central show, The Chappelle Show, obviously amply named, from 2003 to 2005. And then he left the whole thing. This is a pre-Twitter show. This is a pre-Facebook show. And there were a lot of things that he talked about. I guess you couldn't see the direct thoughts of people and their reactions in real time because this is pre-social media. Now you can kind of see things immediately. And what I saw when I started to see any talk about this Sticks and Stones Netflix Dave Chappelle special is that it was offensive to many people. Sticks and Stones is what it's called. If you have not had a chance to check it out, I encourage that you do. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I can understand why some people might be offended. If you are experiencing something in the moment, right now, you may be offended by other people joking about it, right? Somebody gets knocked out, and let's say you just got knocked out. You may not find that funny. Other people would find it funny. Famously, Martin Lawrence, in one of his stand-up specials in the 90s, he was talking about a boxer, what a boxer thinks, or what do you say to a boxer after he just got knocked out? If you are driving him home, y'all rode together, and different things. And so a boxer who may just got knocked out may not find it funny. He may, but he may not. And there were a lot of things that Dave Chappelle touched on that some people will be offended by because they may be going through it right now. He joked about death. He joked about Michael Jackson accusers. Let's talk about that. He basically said he does not believe that Michael Jackson did any of the things that he's accused of. But if he did, and he goes into talking about that. He makes a joke about Macaulay Culkin and saying that if he was someone who participated in pedophilia, that would be the first person he goes after. For some people, that line was too far. But humor, humor is such a subjective line. Is everything that Dave Chappelle said in Sticks and Stones laugh out loud funny? No, everything is not. But there are many laugh out loud moments. Is any comedian, every single joke super, super funny, laugh out loud, the same intensity level? No. Okay, Dave Chappelle's not perfect, but I thought that this was a perfectly executed piece of work. and many people offended by what he said about what he calls the alphabet people, which is the LGBT community. That's his name for them. And I thought that he presented things and said things and did it in a humorous way. I didn't think that he picked on LGBTQ brothers and sisters. I don't think he did that. I think that he was equally, dishing out the shots to everybody, heterosexuals and gay people alike. He made fun of himself. He made fun of his family. He made fun of people in dealing with opioids, and to a lot of people, they don't find that funny, right? He talked about crackheads. I mean, a lot of the things that he said, he touched on are current issues, current things that we're facing. The fact that people want to tear down celebrities, that is something that happens, and he said that. He spoke about different things, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. He's a genius at the comedy game. I think that he's getting better, which is amazing considering the kind of career and the length of time that he has had. He is still getting better. Jesse Smollett, who he was calling Juicy and then all different types of names. Somebody that we've talked about extensively here on the Diamond K Show and here on Radio on Fire. Dave Chappelle said that he didn't believe him, and most black people did not believe him early. I being one of them. And I didn't have any problem with anything he said about Jesse Smollett. I've said a lot of things about Jesse Smollett, and Dave Chappelle basically dumped on the Jesse Smollett. So a lot of people may be offended by things that he said about comedian, and he's admitted a friend of his, Louis C.K., who dealt with a lot of the backlash from his own actions as it relates to, when he decided to pleasure himself. And some people may think that Dave Chappelle tried to minimize the effect that Louis C.K.'s actions had on other people. But I beg to differ, and it is giving a different perspective. He spoke about the Me Too movement and some of the repercussions of different actions that were taken, so quick to tear somebody down upon accusations and the such. And he talked about a woman's right to choose, and very controversial, a man's right to refuse to take care of a child. So those things are controversial. A lot of subjects he did not necessarily take a stand on. He kind of presented it and then said he was conflicted. And I enjoyed that. And these type of things spark up conversation. They spark up conversation. But critics to Dave Chappelle are not, they're not wrong for feeling the way that they feel. But I definitely like the fact that it has us talking about different things. One thing that really was interesting to me, and I agree with it, when speaking about gun violence and the different problems that we're having here in America with gun owners and the different rules to obtain guns. He said if black people all got legal firearms, decided to go get guns, they would change the law the next day. I agree with that. Wholeheartedly. Dave Chappelle had a very controversial stance about when he was talking about transgender people. And he said that it was funny, and he thought that it was funny, and he said that if he had someone, was going through some of those things as a transgender person, feeling like there's someone else inside their body than who they outwardly were, Dave Chappelle gave a very hilarious description of himself being an Asian person on the inside, but black on the outside, and people would find that funny. But like I said, some people will be offended. Maybe Asians will be offended by the way that he delivered it. He said that his wife, who is Asian, did not like the jokes, and that especially his, depiction of an Asian person being in a black person's body. I really loved the conversation that he gave about standards and practices, and his ability to use the word faggot versus not being allowed to use the word faggot on TV, but being allowed to say nigger on TV. And so many things about this, so many things I really thoroughly enjoyed. And as I said, I don't want to give away too much, so I'm not going to get into any. I'm trying not to tell the exact joke for people that haven't had a chance to see it. But at a later date, we're going to come back and dissect this more with a roundtable discussion. But let me know your thoughts on that. Hit me up on social media and let me know your thoughts if you saw the comedy special, and what, like I said, what are your general thoughts about it? And if you were offended, why were you offended? Are you offended because he didn't agree with you? Are you offended because he's laughing at you? If you're a gay person, if you feel like he's laughing at you, is that what offended you? Like, what offended you about the Sticks and Stones comedy special, Dave Chappelle, who is great? He took chances and did things that I think only like a Richard Pryor would make those type of steps. Kevin Hart type. Kevin Hart, who came up in the comedy special a few times, talking about his Oscars, hosting gigs, short-lived, never happened, and the such. But moving on from Kevin Hart to Kevin Hart, from Kevin Hart. How about that? He was involved in a major car accident and suffered a very severe or bad back injury. Kevin Hart and two others are lucky to be alive after one of the comedian's classic cars veered off a Malibu Hills road early Sunday morning. TMZ was first to report this. A crash scene video that TMZ put out showed Kevin's Plymouth Barracuda deep in a ditch about 10 feet off the road. The car was smashed through a wooden fencing along the roadside, and you can see that the roof of his car has been completely crushed by the impact of this crash. Police confirmed that the vehicle is Kevin Hart's, but they say that he was not driving at the time of the accident. And of course, there are two other people in the car with him, including the driver. And police said that Kevin and the driver both suffered major back injuries. And thoughts and prayers with Kevin Hart and all the people in the car. The third person is a woman who did not require hospital treatment. And police said that the driver had not been drinking. Kevin was first out of the vehicle, according to eyewitness reports. A member of his security team showed up in an SUV and picked him up. Kevin lives nearby, and police said he went home and got medical attention. However, he did go to the hospital afterwards. So as I said, we're definitely praying for Kevin Hart and the others involved in the accident. Not sure what happened there, but we're going to keep you posted on that. Of course, if you're just tuning in, your man Diamond K here, Radio on Fire, radioonfire.com. I am here daily giving you my spin on current news, topics, and the such. And I definitely hope you are enjoying your Labor Day weekend, kids going back to school. For those that have children, break is, your kids' break is over. They're going back and all that. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Definitely hit the subscribe button however you are hearing or seeing this broadcast. Radio on Fire is the voice of urban America, and we need your support to continue to do what we do. RadioOnFire.com/join is where you go. And definitely, I will see you guys tomorrow.